Hey, you got Stuart Peddle on the Most Targeted Citizen. What I tell you about Voice of God weapons? Isn't it amazing all these mass violence, mass casualty events going on in America where everybody, just one day, somebody, normally a 16, 17, 18, 20-year-olds wake up one day, voices in their head, God telling them to go and kill people. Is that strange to you? Here's another one. A kid supposedly, because I don't believe half of what I hear and 1% of what I know. Supposedly, all the way in Virginia. Supposedly he went down to Florida, got a little drug charge. So from Virginia, he decides God tells him to get guns, build bombs, drive 700 miles down to Florida, and kill the cops, and supposedly, get this, here's the good one. Supposedly he had a girlfriend that's 13 years old in Florida that was sending him nude pictures online. So, you see all these predator hunter shows on TV, right? You see all that stuff going on? So imagine, just think for yourself, that's the feds. That the feds are setting this up. And the feds are having this, are in contact with this boy the whole time, right? So this kid, no history of mental illness, starts hearing God in his head commanding him to go all the way to Florida and kill cops and kill the parents of this little 13-year-old girl that he's in a online relationship with. Really? And listen, they said he had child porn on his computer. They said he was researching how to make pipe bombs. Listen, anything on his computer you cannot believe. Okay? The fastest way they use to hurt someone's credibility is they can hack into your computer and put something on there. Okay? So I don't even believe the child porn part at all. This kid's only 16. So that renders into the decision as well. But think about this. He's got voices in his head telling him to go down to Florida. See, this was a test run. This is going to keep happening. Law enforcement, and if you were smart, you'd reach out to me and let me tell you what's happening. Let me show you the weapons. Everything's on my channel to tell you. They're going to keep doing this until they take the firearms. They're going to keep doing it. Listen, they're already trying to pass red flag laws right now through the Senate. It's done. They're coming after the guns, and every day in America, we're going to see the same thing. Some white kid, right? Some white kid is going to have voices in their head, and they're going to shoot up a school, they're going to shoot up a police department, they're going to do anything to go after government. Okay? And depending upon, I haven't listened to enough of the article yet to hear about what kind of firearm. Let me just clue you in so you don't think I'm lying to you. Dadgummit. Hold on a minute. Mason, hand that remote.
That is a 16-year-old crashing an SUV after leading troopers on a wild chase. Investigators say that teen was coming all the way from Virginia to kill. Troopers caught up with him in St. Johns County before he could get here and harm the parents of a 13-year-old girl. Fox 35's Randy Hildreth is joining us live tonight. And Randy, police want this kid to stay behind bars.
Exactly what you're saying. Just as you listed the details of this wild and very chilling story. 10 state troopers were on the road yesterday looking for him. That's in addition to OPD also reaching out to the FBI and U.S. Marshals to try to track down the 16-year-old. He's in custody now, but investigators hope that he's not let out anytime soon based on the disturbing facts of this case.
God has commanded me to kill you. I will end your life.
Investigative.
Now, that was sent to the voicemail of a police detective. Now, think about this in conjunction with red flag laws. Red flag laws say, if you know of somebody that's a danger, just call and report them. We'll go disarm them, take away their guns, and put them on a mental hold. This fits that scenario perfectly. Why would anybody call and warn somebody they're going to show up to kill them? This right here is their justification for red flag laws. And isn't it strange how it went from Virginia, where we have a new elected governor, right, who is right-wing, who is pro-gun, going to Florida where Ron DeSantis is, and just like the last shooting happened in Texas where they just now eased up some of their gun restrictions. Think about all this. All this stuff works in conjunction together. These are all false flags. So in other words, this kid, besides conspiring to commit murder and threatening murder, this is pre-crime. They arrested him before he committed the crime of murder. This right here is the backup for red flag laws. So they're going to keep doing this. They're going to keep doing it every day. Somebody's going to get some voice in their head. They're going to have a gun. They're going to get a gun, easily get a gun, and then something's going to happen. This is going to be repeated on and on and on and on. The FBI is doing this just like they did it to me.
Say that was part of the chilling voicemail left for Orlando police by a 16-year-old. He's now involved in an online sex crimes and attempted homicide investigation that spans multiple Florida counties and states.
This kid is someone who concerns us tremendously.
Orlando police say they were tipped off in March that the 16-year-old from Virginia was receiving explicit pictures from a 13-year-old in Orlando. Investigators say the 16-year-old was upset when he was busted and started plotting, contacting the OPD officer who worked the case.
I will end your life, and you will go to hell.
Investigators say he researched how to make pipe bombs, stole his parents' SUV, and started making the over 750-mile drive to Orlando.
To find the 13-year-old, he knew where she lived. He mentioned that if her parents got in the way, that he would harm them. He also mentioned that the intent was to find our detective, and he tried to find where the detective lived and found a number of addresses for different people with the same.
Now think to yourself, this is almost the same plot as Terminator. Remember the first Terminator, when he gets some phone book and he goes around looking for Sarah Connor here, Sarah Connor there, goes and gets in the phone book. So they're using movie scripts for all this. All this has already been done in Terminator. All of it. And I would almost guarantee there's not a 13-year-old girl. I guarantee it's a federal agent who was sitting there feeding him things to do. You do this. Oh, you want a picture to prove I'm real? Here's you a picture. Here's you a picture. Here's you a picture. Because, you know, the feds, it was a couple years ago that they looked on the computer, all the federal agents and all the people in the FBI, and that they found overwhelming amounts of child porn on their computers. All this is a plot to back up red flag laws. Medical tyranny is here. If they can't lock you up legally, they will put you in a hospital and do it.
Last name. And his intent was to also harm the detective.
OPD says the state troopers caught him driving into Florida yesterday. That roughly 10-mile chase topped 100 miles per hour.
We went ahead and executed the pit because we thought he was such a threat to society in general.
He was a 16-year-old. Is such a threat.
Police are urging the state
really
to keep him there longer than the 21-day minimum.
Important it is to keep this for this individual to stay.
See what I mean?
Some sort of facility.
In some sort of facility.
Imminent threat.
Medical tyranny.
Its community, wherever he is.
The feds are all over this one.
And he also faces attempted homicide on a law enforcement charge with that, which is considered a felony.
Think about that.
And right now he's being held in St. Johns County because that's where he was arrested. He also faces a number of other charges, including grand theft auto for stealing his parents' car.
Now, you know good and well his mom and dad ain't going to press charges on him for stealing that car. So they had to hit him with the felony of attempted murder, even though he was 300 miles away. Attempted murder because he hadn't even done it yet. So this is your introduction to pre-crime. Okay? Don't you think this is a stretch? I've warned you about this is going to happen every day. Somebody's going to get a voice of God in a weapon. Remember, Motorsports Molly had the same voice in her head saying, you got to work with us, you got to help us, and we're going to help you do this, and we're going to take down the bad guys. Remember? From her voice, it's on my videos. Go back and look at the Motorsports for Molly video, and you'll see it where she was under the same attack. God told me, or federal agents told me, a clear, loud voice in my head is telling me to do all these things. Pre-crime is here. Minority Report, Tom Cruise. Go and rent it. Go and watch it. See it on DVD. Google it. Minority Report. This is it. The feds are doing all of this to take your weapons. They couldn't do it. Killing kids in schools and at Christmas time didn't do it. So what we're going to do, we're going to make all these kids go crazy. And you're going to watch. The number one pew that they use is going to be an AR. You watch, it's going to keep happening. It's going to happen daily. So do not condition to start saying, oh, well, we have to take away the guns. It's all we can do. There's just too many crazy people in America. I'm Stuart Penlone, the most targeted citizen. Go back and look at my videos of Voice of God weapons. Easy technology. And just as one of the inventors says, the federal government's buying them all up. $70,000 a piece. God bless.